Is there a deep state? If so, what is it? Is it Larry Fink? Is it George Soros? Is it big oil? What is it, Pat?
So I brought Jim Jordan in, and I showed him a clip. I don't know if you've ever seen a white envelope clip. You ever seen a white envelope?
No.
Okay, so there's a white envelope video
Okay.
at George Bush Sr.'s funeral that gets passed down to everybody. Michelle and Barack Obama get it. Michelle opens it. You see Barack goes like this, goes like this. Hillary Clinton gets it. She opens the white envelope, goes like this, goes like this, goes like this. Okay. Everybody, Biden's get it. And then comes Jeb Bush, his mom, and George Bush are standing here. And Jeb Bush is standing above his mom. And mother opens the envelope and she goes like this. And then Jeb looks down. Jeb goes, and within half a second, he flinches and he looks at her. So I said, Jim, what is in that white envelope? Jim Jordan was like, I've never seen this. I said, Jim, you've never seen this? I've never seen. I said, so Jim, what is on that white envelope? It's not like you read a sentence. A sentence takes 3 seconds. Doom, doom, right?
Yeah.
He didn't do that. He just went boom, boom, half a second. What's in there? And Trump didn't get the envelope. What is in that envelope? And then who gave that envelope? If Barack Obama received the envelope, that means you're not the boss. It's kind of like this,
Right.
right? It's
Right.
if somebody
Of
pays
course
you,
he's not the boss.
no, he's
Who's
not.
the boss?
Who is the boss? So then, who is the boss? Is it, when I had Trump on the podcast, I said, "Who is it? Is there a deep state?" He said, "It's an amorphous of lunatics." Some word like that he used, right? So it's a group of. He talked about shift first, and he went through a few different names, right? But then at the end of the day, you have to also realize Clintons are worth a couple $100 million, say $500 million. Obama's are worth $100 to $200 million. Let's just say Biden's are worth, I don't know, $50 million, right? Bush's are worth whatever, 40, 50, $100 million, right? They used to own the Rangers. Maybe they got some money, right? That's nothing.
Right.
That's not real money.
Right.
Soros is worth real money. Thinking those guys at BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, they're worth real money. I'll give you a stat that's very, very weird that came to my attention. Do you know what country in the world has the most natural resources?
You're going to say Ukraine, aren't you?
It's not. Ukraine is actually, it's top 3 in many of them. But you know what country has the most natural resources of all combined together? It's $75 trillion. This can be validated. Anybody can Google it and go look at it.
I mean,
I want you to think about this before you say it. So,
Okay.
what country are they painting as the worst country in the world today? You said one of them. You said one of them that's now painted as the best. They're great people. Let's keep giving them money, right?
You're going to say
Who is the enemy of that country?
Palestine?
No, Russia, right?
Oh, Russia?
Russia has $75 trillion of natural resources in their country. Guess who doesn't have access to that money? Nobody. Why not? Who's in the way? A guy named Putin. So who wants to get access to that $75 trillion of resources? Who? Probably BlackRock, probably State Street, probably Vanguard. They want to get in there. So how do you do it? Well, I never read a guy named, he wrote a book called The Economic Hitman. Can you Google what his
my
name is? Something
gosh, I know-
Perkins.
Yes, I know the
something
book.
Perkins, Economic Hitman. He
yes.
wrote this a while back.
Brilliant.
And
I read it years ago.
Yeah, I had him on the podcast, and I said, "So, what was your job? What's his?" John Perkins. Okay, fascinating podcast. And I said, "So, what did you do?" He says, "It was very simple for me. I'd come to you if you were president or prime minister, and I would tell you, hey, I'm coming on behalf of a group of people. I can't disclose who it is. We're going to come and build 10, 20, $50 billion of businesses here, and we're going to help you out. And you have to do this. If you don't, we're going to destroy your economy."
Right.
And then he says most of the time they would agree. I said, "Did anybody ever die?" He says, "A couple times people died." I said, "Let me get this straight. You want to side with a guy. You threaten him." He says, "I threaten him." "You threaten him. You walked away and he dies?" He says, "Yes. A couple times they died." Got it. So Zelensky
Right.
goes in. They replace the other guy, who's a bad guy. He comes in, an actor who played a star who was the president in the show that he was starring in, who knows how to shake his hips very well. We've seen some of those clips with him dressed very cute, the way he's dressed and the way he moves. So this guy comes in, and the place gets bombed, and then all of a sudden, J.P. Morgan and another bank is coming to rebuild Ukraine $400 billion? Huh. Got it. Can you imagine? Let's just say you ran a business. You've been running a business for a while, right? What's a big account? What if you come to me and I tell you, Jillian, we're about to give you 2,000 customers that on a monthly basis are going to pay you $100 a month. Whoa, that's attractive, right?
Yeah.
So that's pretty impressive, right? So they're coming in, $400 billion business. Who's financing it? They are. Great, $400 billion. It's a lot of money, right? So then they find that the country with the most natural resources is Russia, $75 trillion, and the guy in the way to get in is him. You mean to tell me I can't get through? No, we got to find a way to get rid of this guy. So maybe an economic hitman doesn't work. Maybe you got to find a different way. Maybe you got to find a way to divide him. I'm not telling you this guy's a saint. I'm not telling you he's a great guy. I'm not telling you he's a guy you should go out there and, trust everything that he's doing. But I am sitting there saying that if we're America first, and we should be America first, he's probably Russia first. Right. He should be Russia first, right? So some of these businesses have to get in there. Business models that we rarely talk about. Hotels. You and I go stay at a hotel. If you go at a hotel in Las Vegas, and you and I, what is the fastest way for us to find out if there's a lot of people staying at the hotel or not in Las Vegas? Through the parking lot, right? If you go in the parking lot and me and you, let's say at whatever, let's pick a time. At 7 o'clock in the morning, because people are sleeping from partying a lot or gambling a lot, if at 7 o'clock in the morning the parking lot is empty, that means the hotel's probably empty, right? How does a hotel make money? By making sure 95% of the rooms are rented. Their business model is for you and I to go and stay at their hotels. That's how they make their money.
Right.
What's a place that does haircuts? They got 8 chairs. What's their business model? Those 8 chairs being busy, right? A hair salon, 8 chairs being busy. How about a hospital? All the beds being busy.
I know that industry.
People got to be sick, right?
Sure.
To make money. Okay.
Right.
How about if you're selling weapons and jets and all the, what's the business? We need wars, right? How about, it doesn't matter. How about banking? I need to lend. Who can I lend the most money to? Countries. And I can hold them hostage. These business models have been around for a while. When they talk about the story with Eisenhower at the end talking about the military-industrial complex.
I've seen that.
You know what's the most unique thing about the speech he gave? How come he didn't give the speech on the first day of being president? How come he didn't? He was a 2-term president. Why don't you give it on your first year? How come in our second year? How about now your 4th year? Why don't you give it before you were done? Why'd you give it at the end? Or maybe because he was afraid that if he would have given it too early, something could have come after him. Then you given it at the end, so now we know, but you didn't give us enough stuff to know what's going on behind. Man, you should have revealed some of this stuff earlier. You were a general. It's not like you're just a president. You're a general in the military and a president. You have probably more intel to give us. But these things are real. These things are happening. And half the time when we're seeing somebody that they paint as the enemy, you have to kind of pump the brakes a little bit and step back and wait 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months and do your own due diligence to realize, this guy really the bad guy or he's the bad guy? Who's the puppet in this equation? And who's the puppet master? But these money guys behind closed doors, they're moving everybody. Right. Politicians need their money. They use lobbyists, and they know countries that need their money to go in and rebuild. But it's not one person. Even when I ask Jim Jordan, or I ask Trump, or I ask Kevin McCarthy, what's your 2 weeks ago? It's not one person. It's a group of these guys behind closed doors.
Are they aligned, obviously, then?
Are they aligned?
In other words, Pat, if one of these guys, who's one of the most powerful in the world, has a different agenda than another one, right? If, let's say, Soros and Fink had differing agendas, it feels like everything, I know I sound insane. My poor mother, she looks at me and she's like, can you please just go back to talking about lunches? Lifelong Democrat.
Keeping it real with Jillian Michaels. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the podcast, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And make sure to let me know what guests you want to see on in the future.